How's it, guys? Welcome back to another video. So this week's daily race B was quite an interesting one. It was at Interlagos in Group 3 cars. Nice setup. I don't think I'm the fastest here, but I put up quite a good time. So two races. First race I'm going to show you guys was actually my second race. It was the more entertaining one. And then I'll show you my first race, which was quite quickly cut off. Anyway, so I'm racing in the Mazda Altezza. You'll see on the top right I've got a nice Red Bull livery on. I had a guy in the BMW M3 behind me, and I thought it was an interesting choice for the track. I really thought that it wasn't a good car, but what you will see is it's got decent acceleration, and once you start getting through the gears it was actually quite quick. There's also a Beetle in this race, which you will see soon, being a typical Beetle driver. So anyway, through the Senna S's, down the straight, M3 comfortable space behind me, didn't sit on me too much, so we got through the first couple corners nice and clean. Okay, coming into the technical part of the circuit. So the Mazda gets a little bit of wheel spin coming out the corners, but it hooks up quite nicely and gets some nice acceleration coming out. Coming through this section I found that it was quite quick, the double right-hander. What I want you guys to see is the Beetle, a few cars behind me. So Beetle coming down towards the double right-hander that I just showed you behind the Mercedes-Benz. It's quite a long shot behind the Mercedes-Benz, as you can see. But just decides, I'm going to pass. Gives him a nudge with traction control on. And that's why I don't like the Beetles. Oh, he was French. So anyway, back to the front. I get a nice big sideways movement there. BM closes the gap on me and starts putting a bit of pressure on me. Now what I did notice was, obviously the better you qualify, the cleaner the race you get throughout the whole race. You don't get your dirty drivers, your bumpers. So I'm going to start making an effort to try qualify a little bit higher. So I got a decent qualification lap here. Amongst my friends I was top. Put about 10-15 laps in quali. So coming down the straight, BM behind me gets a little bit of a bad exit. He's about 0.4 behind me coming onto the straight. And you'll see by the time we get to turn 1, he's actually setting me up for a move. So inevitably I thought, this BM's going to constantly push me to get the move into turn 1. So I had to just keep blocking the inside line. As long as he doesn't hold it on the outside, the next corner is a right-hander. So I had to brake nice and late, hold that inside apex so I can set up the second apex around the left-hander down the little back straight. So here again, you'll notice the BM then starts to catch up, uses my slipstream. Went a little bit defensive. He stayed quite far right, so I closed it off, giving him the space on the outside. And he couldn't get the move done there. So I'm actually considering trying this M3. I remember when we used to drive it a couple of years ago, it wasn't anything special. It handled well, but it just lacked a little bit of the power. So I don't know if there was a BOP update that's increased the strength of the car. That guy was just a really good driver. So here he tries to hang it on the outside. I know the outside there is quite dirty, so you lose a lot of traction. I regain the line, a bit too far behind me, so I run my normal racing line through the tight right-hander. Through this left-hander as well, the BM's front end seemed to be quite good. You'll notice how he pulls me in here every single time. And coming out the last corner onto the main straight as well, he gets some good drive coming out. So you'll see there, just shy of 0.4 seconds once again, coming onto the main straight. And as I said, high up in the gear range, 5th, 6th in the BM, it really does start pulling. You'll see as he pulls next to me how without the slipstream even, he still seems to pull a bit of legs on me at the same time. So again, he tries to hang it around the outside. I hold that inside line. He pulls out and then sits behind me trying to set up for the next corner. So I immediately pull to the left side just to try break the slipstream. Gives me a little flash just to psych me out. And last of the late breakers, he holds it around the outside. So I give him a bit of space. He gets the acceleration. Side by side going through the double right-hander. He's now got the inside line, which obviously works against me. So I tried to outbrake him there. Didn't work for me. I tried to pass him on the inside. I used far too much dirt. Here as well, I got a bit anxious and try to go for the move without setting it up. But I thought if he got ahead of me, he's going to definitely pull away from me. So I needed to try and get back in front of him. You'll see in this right-hander as well. I pulled the lawnmower maneuver, but I pulled out. I thought, no, that's not a clean move. So anyway, I just wanted to stay in a slipstream coming down the main straight. The Porsche behind me started to put in some good times from lap 2 onwards. And I get a bad exit out of the last turn, so I lose the slipstream to the BMW in front of me. So big thing I had to worry about here was the Porsche. I know coming out that last corner, the Porsche's got a very long first gear, which helps him to get out that corner. I hold the left-hand side as close to the wall as I can. I don't want this guy to get on the inside of me, and I think he realizes that. Again, he tries to go for the outside move. He gets side by side, but couldn't make it stick around the outside. So hold the inside, through the right, through the left, out of the slipstream range of the BMW. So again, had to hold the inside coming into the next turn. So Porsche pulls out. I slowly move across, giving him the space once again. I get some good exit speed. He runs a bit wide onto the green stuff and loses a bit of traction, giving me some breathing space. You'll see the BMW is out of the 1 second range. Quite a bit, quite comfortable ahead of me. So I thought, okay, well, I know I'm quite quick through this little tight section. This right-hander, the BMW takes very well. I struggled with this right-hander, but I make it back with a long left over here. But unfortunately, I didn't have enough gears to catch up to the chap in front. So my concern was the French guy and the Porsche behind me, and you'll notice the Beetle tried to tow onto the back of the Porsche there. I obviously didn't know what happened at this time when the Beetle kamikaze attacked the Mercedes-Benz. There was a bit of banter afterwards in the chat, but I just wanted to stay in front of that Porsche. So Porsche in the slipstream coming out of the last turn. I get some good drive coming out. 0.7 is slipstream range to the car behind. You'll notice he's out of my slipstream, so I run my normal line. Coming down the main straight again. So you can brake nice and late through this first turn. Medium tires instead of the hard. So I brake just before the 50 board. You've got to try stay on the left hand side to run that inside apex so you can run flat through this left hander. Down the straight, Porsche was in my slipstream, so just try to break the slipstream, pull back across to the right hand side, and just past the 100 meter board there's a little cement exit road. That's my braking reference coming through here. I leave it in third gear just so I don't spin the back tires, and I run through the torque of the engine. So coming through here, I brake at the 50 meter board. You'll notice I brake while turning to scrub off as much speed as I can, so I can carry some exit speed on this section. Here I know you can cut more than the rumbles on the right hand side. I really struggled with that right hand. I think the Mazda's turning circles a little bit less than the Porsche or the Mercedes-Benz that I usually drive. Here I brake at the green stuff on the left hand side. Nice late turn in, hold the apex for quite a while, straighten the car up and accelerate through. Short, small little lift through the left hander, back on the gas, and I brake about 100 meters. There's no 100 meter board. I just gauge that according to the amount of speed that I carry in. So once you apex, or once you clip the apex, you straighten up and accelerate to get as much drive as straight as you can. I hold the left side of the circuit as much as I can to get the shortest distance. And again, Porsche is in my slipstream, so I hold the defensive line on the inside. And second place. So not a bad result. It was a good race, nice clean driving. Beat the Beetle, and the traction control. I'm not going to drive the Beetle for those of you that keep asking me to. So that was our first race. Second race. This was actually my first race. So quali time, what is that? A 1:31.1 I think it was. Can't really see. Peugeot looked like a Peugeot field. A lot of people jumped into the RCZ. I like the Mazda. It's something I hadn't driven in a while. I saw it and I thought, hey, let me jump in and give it a try. So I'd never driven the Peugeot, to be honest. I didn't know if it was quick on the straights. I didn't know if it was good through the corners and the braking zones. But as you can see around me, everywhere is all Peugeots. I think I was the only Mazda on the grid, to be honest. Alright, so on the start, slot in right behind the Peugeot in front of me. Again, I was worried about turn one. Some of the guys really do outbrake themselves. You see the guy in third place closes the gap quite nicely, leaving a bit of space between all of us so that we can try break away from the mayhem that happens behind us all the time. Normally I'm caught up in that mayhem. Right, so coming down the straight, I'm in his slipstream. I noticed you're actually quite quick, so I pulled to the left just so I could see my braking point. Sometimes I miss my braking point completely from too close, but also just to let the guy know that I am there. I am going to look for a move. So both of us run wide through the first left-hander. You'll see third place catches up to me, so I hold the inside line going through the double rights. As I said, I'm quite quick through here. So brake at the 50, hold the inside, coming to the tight right, into the left. And again, nice and close to first place. So I thought if I put a bit of pressure on, let me see what happens. I got 5 laps. I didn't want to fight too soon unless there was an opportunity. But at the same time, I wanted to try break away from the field. I didn't want to hold myself in first place up and then get caught with third, fourth, fifth, etc., etc. So you'll notice here, coming out the last turn, this is where I get quite a lot of good drive. So good apex, straighten the wheel as much as I can, accelerate, and nice and close to the Peugeot in front of me, and broke the slipstream to the Peugeot in third place. So I knew, okay, in the slipstream of this car, I'll be able to pull about a second gap to the car behind me. Again, squeeze him, hold the outside line just to let him know that I am there. Wasn't going to go for the move, but I did want to go for the undertake through this section here. But he held a good line, so I couldn't get past him. So anyway, back in the slipstream, focus on just breaking away from third place. He goes defensive, follow him just to squeeze him a little bit, just so he has a narrower radius taking this corner and therefore jeopardizing his exit. But he held on quite nicely, he held that apex for longer so that I couldn't get the cutback. You'll notice the more we do this, the more third place starts to close down again. So coming through here, I could see whenever I was braking there, I was closing on the gas a lot sooner than him. Kept it nice and late so that I could apex through the right-hander. Try to get the undercut through here, but again, held the apex quite nicely. So get on the gas nice and early. Obviously saw this, so he went defensive. So again, I went for the undercut through the right-hander. As you can see, he was just patient with that throttle. Thought he'd accelerate a bit more and get a bit of a spin. Okay, so here's my opportunity. I needed to apex. I needed to get on the gas early. I saw he stuffed it up. So maybe a bit too close. I couldn't get the drive to pass him. So a little bit too close on the slipstream. So as I pull out, I see that the Peugeot does have quite a bit of legs on the straight. So I thought I needed to exit the last corner about 4 tenths behind him like BMW did to me. Get that slingshot and try pass him before turn 1. But I saw a mistake here. He ran a bit wide. So I went inside. He tried to hold the apex again. Might have been a dirty move, but I left him space through there. And he had little sideways moments, and then him in third place started to fight. And while they fought, it just gave me the opportunity to run away quite nicely. So if I knew if I got my lines nice and clean, there wasn't much of a chance that they would be able to pass me. Very difficult circuit to pass on. When I saw third place going for a move on second place here, I thought, excellent. I knew I could pull away from the red Peugeot. I was quite comfortable with that, and the more they fought, the more I pulled away. And at this time, the red Peugeot wasn't in my slipstream, so quite an easy run. As long as I kept everything clean, I knew I could get a win. So coming towards the end of the race, as you can see, it I start to pull a nice gap to the cars behind me, second and third, fighting for position. So overall, like I said, I'm quite surprised at how good this Mazda was. I think it's quite an underrated car. I know the Altezza in GR4 is all-wheel drive. This is obviously rear-wheel drive being GR3. But a nice little motor, handles quite well. I'll probably use it a lot more. Create a livery for it as well. But yeah. So going on to the last lap, you'll see I got the fastest lap there. Started to pull a nice comfortable lead. I knew if I just kept my lines nice and clean, it would be quite a comfortable win. So bear in mind, this was my first race of the setup. There was a lot of commotion that happened behind me. You can see the guy in fourth place is also South African, so I reviewed the replay, and man, they have a go at each other in the back. Lots of argy-bargy there. But anyway. So yeah, getting into the swing of things again, jamming a little bit more. I've got another review with Get More Car coming up. I'll post that next week. Driving a nice Porsche. And I've got 1 or 2 videos from the Gr2 race. Where was it? At Red Bull Ring. Some nice racing there. Didn't qualify well, so you know what's coming. But quite fun. It's actually, I didn't know that I didn't have a Gr2, so I've obviously never raced them before. So I bought the GTR and bought the Honda and played around with them, and it was actually quite fun. So anyways guys, thanks for watching. Again, in the comments, let me know, what did you enjoy? I had a request to transition between onboard and replay, which I've done. I've cut out obviously some boring sections, but let me know if there's anything you guys would like to see. And yeah, like and subscribe, and I'll put some more content out there. Thanks guys.